Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of GREYS.
Good morning and welcome along to GREYS on this Thursday, the 15th of May 2025. David Shortte with you. Hope you're having a beautiful start to your Thursday. Plenty to get over the next hour. We're talking all things greyhound racing, the Shane Train Williams, Jason Campbell. Ethan Christian will join us with Neil Brown off on a well-earned break. He's a young gun. Looking forward to his tips for the big program tonight at Sandown. Sean Matheson will take us through all things SA chasing. We'll round it out with a chat to Simon Orchard, looking at all of the latest greyhound racing news in New South Wales. But let's start with the man that's back fresh off a break. He's been over in Bali. He's back for the WA Derby heats with a couple of his runners on Saturday night, the Shane Train. Hello, Train.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. It's very good to be back on home soil, Shorty, and can't wait to get into today's program.
How was the break?
Well, I went for a bit of R&R, and it turned out I went with a few lunatics that led me astray. I think one night there I thought I was in Ibiza in a three-level nightclub in Bali. But, so it was a little bit of mischief got up to, but it was a great time, Shorty, and it was good just to have a couple of days R&R.
It wasn't the Sky Garden, was it?
No, it was called La Favolas in Seminyak. So,
it's a good spot. It's a good spot.
Yeah, real eye-opener, Shorty, real eye-opener.
Oh, cut it out. Your eyes don't get open too often. Anyway, it sounds like you had a good time. That's all that matters. The box draws haven't been too kind to you on Saturday night.
No, we must have to pay our bills there. But anyway, you can only work with what you get dealt, Shorty. And unfortunately, it's a few bad draws there. But one in particular is going to have his work cut out there. I've done the maps on Rupert Moses' race, and he's got a horrible draw. 6 goes out and 8 comes in, so he's in a world of pain, I think. So anyway, we hope the other fella can step well and get a clear run.
Absolutely. And, of course, great to see some WA representation tonight over there on the East Coast. Sandown Park, big program there tonight for heats of the Sandown Cup. And max capacity goes around in the first of the Cup heats, draws box number 8. We see Weston Booney exit box number 4 in the second of the Sandown Cup heats. And Boracay Summer draws box number 2 in race number 5, the third of those Sandown Cup heats. So great to see the West Aussie stayers over there flying the flag, and all three of them go in with reasonable claims tonight.
Yeah, 100%, Shorty. That's just the fact that the stayers around at the moment. There's no dominant stayer, there's no standout stayer, and you look at them dogs from WA, they're hard in the market, Shorty. Max Capacity's been taking his show on the road already to Sydney, and the other 2 dogs are running similar times to what he was before he left. So, Boracay Summer's an on-speed runner, and it probably would have had plenty of experience around Sandown, obviously being from Melbourne before it come to Perth. And Weston Booney seems to have found a bit of his old form as well. So, yeah, interesting tonight, and good luck to the 3 runners in the Sandown Cup tonight. It's a great race to win, Shorty. It was once upon a time the richest staying race in Australia, and now taken over by the Gardens race, but still a very prestigious race to win.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And, we certainly wish all 3 of the West Aussies all the very best tonight. We'll get Ethan Christian's thoughts a little bit later on the program today. You've been seeing them quite nicely since you got back. Monday in particular came back and went bang. It was a multi that landed around about that $14 or $15 mark. So it's been a nice return to the tipping ranks.
Yeah, I got a little bit of time in Bali to do a bit of form before we come home on Monday. So that was good. Northam's been pretty good this year. It was a bit tread warily early on just to see how dogs were handling the circuit. But I think the rule that the stewards enforced, meaning that you have to have a trial there, has helped a lot of people, Shorty, because you're not in 2 minds now. You know that the dogs have had a look there. So some handle it better than others, but I think it is a horses for courses track. I think the dogs that really love Northam, they go well there week in, week out.
Yeah, that's the truth, and that'll be the case continuing on right throughout the course of the season. It is a venue that does suit some particular dogs. Keep an eye out for those that are very comfortable there at the circuit, and generally the form does stack up quite nicely for those sorts of runners. Now, just quickly, before we get into your thoughts for Thursday night chasing, while the draws haven't necessarily been all that kind on Saturday night, just the latest on both Rip and Moses and also Iconic Jet. How are the dogs themselves going into Saturday night?
Yeah, well, Iconic Jet, Shorty, he'd done a lot of his pre-training around Kennington prior to his race career. Obviously, they closed down just before he was due to race, so I snuck a quali in there with him. Although it's changed a little bit, I think it's still very similar. So, but in saying that, since the track's reopened there, he's probably had 4 or 5, maybe 6 trials there. And his last trial on Thursday morning, he sizzled around there in 29:39, which, I mean, the track was very quick, don't get me wrong, but in saying that, he's a couple of lengths better than his brother, Ripper Moses, and he's already won a race there in 29:60. So the time didn't really surprise me. He went phenomenal splits early, and he's going to need to do that on Saturday night. He's got speed in 4 and 1, and he just hoped he can jump well and sort of burn Boilermaker off through the 10 or sort of at the winning post. But and then just with a bit of luck, if he does get through to the final, he can draw a decent box for once in the final. So we're praying there. And his brother, he raced last week in the free-for-all, Shorty. He had one. He's not well suited in one. He doesn't like dogs on his outside. So he's much better drawn in 7. But like I said earlier, he's just got a horrible draw there. He's going to need to come out like Brett Lee, I think, to sort of to miss that trouble. But, you know, it's a big drop in grade for him coming out of the free-for-alls back to age-restricted race. And so he's going to have his work cut out. But yeah, both boys are really well. They've had a great week at home, and all the work's done at home now. So it's just a matter of picking them over till Saturday night, Shorty.
All right, and overall the series has Western Sydney, the fave pre-post, then around $3.20, I think, and then $4 for Giacomo and also Iconic Jet. Has the market got it right? Are they the toughest to beat?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's much value there. You know, they've seeded the dogs in the heat, so they try to get their final as the best final it is. But unfortunately, as we've seen at Mandurah, Shorty, there's going to be some dogs that draw well in the final. There's going to be some dogs that draw bad. So that's whatever gets the luck with the draw, I think, depends on that market. That's going to fluctuate. But, yeah, nonetheless, they're good quality dogs, all 3 of them dogs, up the top of the betting. And then, yeah, it's going to be a great final if they all make it. So, yeah, it's really exciting because we're lucky enough to win the Oaks a couple of years ago, and it'd be sort of really good to have a derby on the mantelpiece as well alongside that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course, runner-up in the Mandurah Derby, beaten by Giacomo, but it was a nice performance from Iconic Jet. Hopefully he runs very well there on a Saturday night. Before that, though, we're looking to build a bet. We've got chasing at Mandurah this evening. Who have you come up with for the punters to have a bet on tonight? Yeah,
3 plays at Mandurah tonight, Shorty. We'll kick it off race 6, number 1, Glow Girl. She's a winner 3 of her last 5 so far in her career. She's only a very tiny girl, tipping the scales at 23 kilos, but she does possess a good amount of early burn. Gets a lovely map here drawn underneath Epicenter in box 2, and I think her 17:22 victory last start will see her go very close to winning a race like this. Race 6, number 1, Glow Girl, to kick us off.
All right, race 6, number 1, Glow Girl. Second of your plays?
7-2, Linguini Manelli. I think this dog's got the right form line, Shorty. He's coming out of the Mandurah Derby series, and he wasn't disgraced behind Iconic Jet in one of them heats, and then he had no luck from a poor draw last start. Gets a low draw here tonight, which is the key to his winning chances, as he does lack a bit of early speed, and I think box 2 tonight will allow him to find the rail early and let him go through his gears mid-race, and I think with any luck it'll be hard to beat race 7, number 2.
Okay, and the final play?
12-2, Lucknow Gunner. This looks a perfect setup for her tonight with 2-spot mould in box 4. We know it, Shorty, explodes out of the traps, and it sort of only goes for that 250 metres, and I think Lucknow Gunner will be the dog first on the scene behind that, ready to pounce and grab it late. Race 12, number 2, Lucknow Gunner to finish us off.
Okay, so the inside division for the train tonight, race 6, number 1, Glow Girl, race 7, number 2, Linguini Manelli, race 12, number 2, Lucknow Gunner. Excellent work from you, train. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Glad to have you back in one piece. Good luck for Saturday night there with your Derby representatives. Anything else outside of your Derby runners that the punters can keep an eye out for over the weekend?
Yeah, I think Friday night, Shorty, a bit of a sad night. Curious Georgia, she's probably going to have a last start for us. She's going to go home to New South Wales and have a crack at the Thunderbolt over the 350 at the Grafton circuit, and then she'll probably be going off to the breeding barn. So a bit of luck, she can get the job done and go out a winner for us on Friday night. She's been a marvellous dog for our kennel, and you know, the times where we've been low on stock and low on runners, she's always put her hand up and won races for us to pull us out of the rot that we've been in. So yeah, good luck to her in the future, and hopefully she can get the job done for us one last time on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she has been excellent. You've done a wonderful job with her. Her early pace has been a magnificent asset, and, well, let's hope that she runs well there on Friday, and good luck to her over there heading back to New South Wales, and hopefully she has some nice puppies and you get to potentially train them in the years to come.
Yeah, well, hopefully they got her early speed. We'll be in for a bit of fun, wouldn't we? There's phenomenal early speed she had, just amazed a lot of people. So even Ryan, I think I heard Ryan one night say, "This is the best beginner ever." So that's a big rap by Ryan. But yeah, pleasure to train, and yeah, good luck to her moving forward.
And Benny as well. Props to him. He sent her over here to you, and without knowing you, but trusting you, and it's been a two-way street. You both looked after each other and got some wonderful results. So well done to you, Train. Good luck to her on Friday night. She's been a favourite of ours over the last 12 to 18 months. Continued success to you, mate. Good luck over the weekend, and we'll hear from you tomorrow morning with the boys on the Sports Daily. Yeah, thanks, Shorty, and good luck to the punters out there over the weekend. Cheers, mate. There we have it, the Shane Train Williams back, only just in one piece, but in one piece after getting well looked after there in Seminyak at La Favela. It's a good spot if you're going to Bali and you do like to party a little bit, which the Train is prone to do. You tuned in to TAB Radio on this Thursday morning. It's now 14 minutes after 10. Our first race for broadcast on the show today comes up in about 6 minutes' time. Matty, that'll be the first at Hawkesbury. It's the TPG Greens Grade 2-year-old maiden plate.
And it's the first leg of the quaddie, 9,500 currently in. Hidden Motive at $2 on the tote ahead of 4. Mysterious Master at 5. And 290 into 150 with Tab Touch, Hidden Motive. 5 out to 650 for Mysterious Master. And Often Buck is 8 into 650 with Pimlico. The rest open at $4.40. Losing Love, it's now $7.50 and well into double figures the others. And they should be getting ready to leave the mounting yard if they haven't already.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's 10:15. Time to catch up with Jason Campbell. Have a look at the chasing up in Queensland as well as down in Tassie for tonight. G'day, JC. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yes, very well. Shorty, how are you, mate?
Yeah, going really well, thanks, mate. Beautiful sunny day here in Perth and some great chasing to look forward to today as well as over the upcoming days. Take us through your thoughts tonight. We're up and running at the Q2 Parkland circuit. I like what I've seen from it there. Of course, the Prince Tommy Zavalis was nice and hot with that meeting there last week, and we've got a good program to look forward to tonight. Take us through your key plays there at the Q2 Parkland circuit tonight.
Yeah, we'll kick off in race 3. Playing the 6 here, Riorson Bale. He raced on Monday for the first time at the Q2 Parklands, and he just bumped into a dog by the name of Back Creek Benny, who has pretty much won every race over the past 3 months in Queensland, including the Group 3 Rockhampton Cup. I think he would take great benefit from that effort. He's drawn box 6 here. He's got a vacant inside him and a wide runner in the 7 Spider Bait. So it looks like a fair price to kick off tonight. Race 3, number 6, Riorson Bale.
$4.80 on the fixed odds with Tab Touch. Looks a nice quote. Then we go deeper into the card.
Race 8, number 3 here, Star Turn. This is a cracking race, Shorty, the Q Gold Emerging Sprinters Final. We're going to be talking about a lot of these young chasers moving forward. But I think Star Turn, he's proven the best of the bunch so far. 14 starts for 7 wins and 4 placings. The key to this race is the 2 Moet Magic. I think she'll spear the lids as we've seen in recent weeks. Give him a lovely cut into that first corner. As long as he can do his position in second, I think he's definitely the runner to beat in this race.
Indeed, putting together a very nice record. Star Turn, 14 starts, 7 wins, 4 placings, and looks to be right in the mix. Again, pretty nice price tonight at $3.80 quote on the fixed odds with Tab Touch, and we're saving the best till last.
Number 4, Savannah Beach in race number 9. She herself has built a really nice record, 25 starts, 10 wins and 7 placings. I really want to pop the favourite here, number 8, No Orlea. We saw her off an inside box last week, yield a lot of ground early, flash home run second behind Smooth Plane. I think Savannah Beach will be off and gone in this race. She presents here on the fresh side. She should lead this race for fun, and I think she will become a deserving favourite late in betting.
All right, so shop now from what we're hearing there with our man, the best bet of the night, race 9, number 4, Savannah Beach on the Q2 Parkland circuit. We'll head down to Tassie, and as is often the case, you look to get the money early down there. Races 1 and 2 tonight, Hobart.
Yeah, race 1, number 7, Josie's Gold. She's been brilliant in her last 2 starts over the shorter distance. She went straight to the front, run around that 1940 mark. She does rise to the 461 metres here, which is probably a key to this race. She stays in 6th grade company. If she was to race over the 340 metres, she'd have to rise in grade, but she does stay in the same grade, and I don't think this is a very deep race. I think she's drawn exactly where she wants to be. She'll find the front very easily and hopefully put a big gap on rivals entering the home straight.
Very nice. Race 1, number 7, Josie Gold. And the second of your plays there in Hobart?
Race 2, number 8, Timeless Miss. She went off a wide box last week over the 461 metres. A bit different to Josie's Gold. She does drop back in distance. I think this is a very winnable race, and she's drawn exactly where she wants to be. As long as she can just lob outside Aussie Pablo on that first corner, I think she'll be the stronger bitch late in the piece. So that's race 2, number 8, Timeless Miss.
I like it. Race 2, number 8 to go along with race 1, number 7 and the Q2 Parklands, 368394, the best there. JC, our listeners that would like to follow your handiwork, how do they go about it?
Just over on X, Campbell Jason. I'll be dropping my previews tonight for Hobart and Q2 Parklands.
Outstanding work. JC, appreciate your time as always, mate. Have a ripper Thursday.
Too easy. Good luck, punters.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great GREYS.
Well, it's 22 minutes after 10. Now, generally when a Hall of Famer has a break, you're a little bit disappointed, but I must say I'm absolutely thrilled to have one of my old teammates on a prior podcast in Ethan Christian, one of the absolute rising stars of the greyhound media world, with us on Great GREYS over the next few weeks while Brownie's having a well-earned break, and it's nice to be catching up with him once again. G'day, Ethan.
Oh, goodness me, it's good to be back chatting to you, Shorty. I've certainly missed our conversations and talking about the best in terms of plays in our great sport. But, really happy to be back. And what a night to be coming back as well. Harrison Dawson, Sapphire Crown and heats of the Sandown Cup. I can't wait to get stuck in.
Yeah, big style, and it's exciting from a WA perspective because we have 3 representatives going around in the Sandown Cup heats tonight, so added reason for the West Aussies to be tuned in. But outside of those Sandown Cup heats, as you touched on, the final of the Sapphire Crown and also the Harrison Dawson final, the undercard's really good. This is a stellar program.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And the other added bit is that we've had the fastest maiden winner in Sandown Park history go around 10 days ago, and it lines up in race 1 tonight. So as if the feature races weren't enough to gain your interest, the next superstar of the sport is going around in race 1 potentially. So there's just stuff to get excited about all across tonight's card. It's really fantastic. Big
style, and we speak of Sashwan, who went 29.05, if you don't mind, there running. Phenomenal time for a maiden, and that was from box 6 where it draws tonight for Brad Greeno. A really exciting son of Goodsy and Freaky Tears, so that's going to be something to kick the night off. Now, Brownie normally takes us through the early quad, the quad, and then his best bets. Are you happy to do the same?
More than fine by me.
All right, well, let's kick it off. Race number 1. I'm tipping that we don't have to go too much further than the dog we've just been touching on.
No, it looks like one debuted in a sparkling 29.05, as you mentioned, and I just don't see a way that they beat him. Look, he's drawn box 6, and that on paper looks a bit sticky, but if he begins like he did last week, they won't even see him. So pretty hard to tip against a dog that's about $1.10. If you want something that's maybe got a bit more of a price, you can probably back the 4 Tiger Rocks to place, but certainly in the quaddie, the 6 is a 1-out job in the first Saquon.
All righty, so we're chips in with this potential star on the rise in Saquon. On to race number 2, a mixed grade 4 and 5 over the 595.
Yeah, a pretty tough race, this middle distance contest. I think the 2 Sunset Wisp has been a little bit down on her best form recently, but the key here is that she's drawn the correct side of the speed map. Dogs in 3 and 4 will move up the track, and I reckon she's just going to get a lovely run out on the arm, and she might get a chance to run back into form. So I'd be not surprised at all to see an improved run from her, but I'll be taking 2, 8, 3 and 6 in the quaddie.
2, 8, 3 and 6. That also includes He's Magic, Poor Torrey and Reality Best, 2, 8, 3 and 6 there in the second leg. The third leg is the first of the Sandown Cup heats over the 7:15 metres for the stayers.
Yeah, and I think, look, Ella's Babe, number 4, I've got quite an affinity towards. She hasn't quite reached the dizzying heights that she threatened she might be able to get to early in her career, but she strikes a really winnable heat of this Sandown Cup series, so she will be my on-top selection. But Pathmark is an underrated stayer, and Max Capacity looks a handy interstate challenger as well, so I'll be taking 4, 6 and 8.
4, 6 and 8 there in the third leg of the early quaddie. And the final leg of the early quaddie, another Sandown Cup heat.
Yeah, and I think we're getting quite a nice price about the 3, Mapunga Surprise, who has got proven staying ability and can follow the leaders into the race here. I think she just gets the edge, just at the better odds over a Pillar, who will be charging home late in this staying contest. I can't leave out the West Aussie, West on Booney, who will take up the early lead as well. So going to take 3, 8 and 4 in the last leg of the early quaddie.
Okay, so in recap, the early quaddie, 6-1 out leg 1, 2, 8, 3, 6 leg 2, 4, 6 and 8 leg 3, home with 3, 8 and 4. We move on now to the main quaddie this evening, and promises to be an excellent quad. Worth noting, punters, there is a quaddie carryover of $25,000 jumping in here for the Super Tab players. So get your thoughts together for the main quaddie. Our man Ethan Christian, get around him and his thoughts. And in this first leg, again, good, strong WA representation with a very talented Boracay Summer going around from box number 2 with the picket fence form.
Yes, well, I'd like to actually claim Boracay Summer as one of our own. He was originally Victorian, but I'm very happy to have if WA wants to claim him as one of their own as well. Look, I think Lady Wilson, number 7, carved out a serious middle distance trial here last week in preparation for this series, and she should find herself in the firing line soon after box rise. But the 2, Boracay Summer is your likely leader as well. I think they'll just pair off, and as long as they don't bunch, I think it's going to be a bit of a match race. So I'm just taking 7 and 2 in the first leg of the quaddie.
7 and 2 there in the first leg of the quaddie. On to race number 6, the fourth of the Sandown Cup heats over the 715 metres.
Yeah, Ethanol Water. It's no surprise to you, Shorty, an absolute favourite of mine, and she's turned out to be one of the premier stayers in the land. And she's got a great deal of versatility. She doesn't have to lead, but she can. So it's always a good thing to have in these races. I think she gets a clean first 100 metres here, despite the squeeze draw. And I think she'll just go through the gears to go very close to winning. However, Groove Bird and Raiders Guide will be taking up the early lead between them, so I have to include them. So we'll take 4, 2 and 1.
4, 2 and 1 there, the second leg. The third leg is the Group 1 Sapphire Crown final over the 515 metres. And, wow, Dashing Slay has certainly been taking all before her in recent times, and she was quite brilliant last time out, defeating Lakeview Emily in very fast time.
Yeah, and it's certainly one of the most impressive patches of form I've seen in town in the only short few years that I've been covering Metro Victoria and greyhounds, but Dashing Slay looks like she's going to be a special type. Look, tonight I'm actually going to side with the 8 Lakeview Emily. I think she might be able to turn the tables. She's the seasoned greyhound in this Sapphire Crown final, and I think she can burn over from box 8 to lead. Dashing Slay is undoubtedly the fastest greyhound in this field and will be the greyhound to move with going forward, but I think she's going to bump with the 4 Trefusis at box rise, who's very reliable and cuts left, and Dashing Slay can take a step to the right early. So I think they might bump, and it might allow Lakeview Emily to come across the top of them. And just with that map uncertainty, I'm going to take 8, 3, 4 and 6 Gambella as well.
8, 3, 4 and 6 there in the Sapphire Crown final. And the final leg of the quaddie tonight is the other of the Group 1s, the Harrison Dawson final, over the 515 metres. And we have seen a couple of these greyhounds, of course, across here in the west, with Deadly Avenger taking out the Sandgroper final. Also Tim Zoo, who was luckless from the wide draw in the Sandgroper final, but was runner-up last week there behind Deadly Avenger and racing particularly well. How do you see the Harrison Dawson final?
Yeah, I've fallen the way of Tim Zoo, who's got one of the biggest engines in the game when he's on song, and he certainly seems to be on song at the moment. And with the nice draw, he's going to settle a lot closer than usual. I think he's going to get last crack at them to win. He can win this Harrison Dawson, but the likes of Deadly Avenger, who, as you alluded to, ran a cracking race over in WA recently, came home and had a really strong race beating Tim Zoo last week. They've also got the likes of Morton and Mapunga Award, who all ran strong races last week as well. So Tim Zoo on top, but I'm going to take all of them, 2, 6, 4 and 5.
Excellent. So there we have it, the main quaddie tonight with that carryover in play. 7 and 2 leg 1, 4 2 and 1 leg 2, 8 3 4 and 6 leg 3. Home with 2 6 5 and 4. Are there any best bets on the program for tonight there, Ethan?
Yeah, we'll get around two. We'll get around one that's quite short and one that's a bit longer. My absolute best comes in race 9, number 1, Room to Breathe. He's unbeaten in his starts to date. He looks a really strong type, and he's drawn to perfection for his first run in town. So I think he's going to get every possible chance. He might not lead, but I think he'll get last crack at them to win, and he's been supported in the market early, which adds a little bit of confidence as well. So race 9, number 1, Room to Breathe will be the best. And then a value play I've got comes up in race 11, number 7, Paul Grady. There's a lot of box speed in this race, which he doesn't have, but as they jostle for spots going around the bend, he'll be stoking up right behind them and he'll finish really, really strongly. So I think he's a terrific each-way bet. So the best bet, race 9, number 1, Room to Breathe, and the value, race 11, number 7, Paul Grady.
And it certainly is value on the fix with Tab Touch, 14 and 440. It'll be a pay 1 and 2 only. The scratching at number 8, Zenny Bale, which means no pressure from the outside for Paul Grady. Sit off speed, come home hard, hopefully all over the top at the double figure odds. EC, did I hear you have a winner late last night across there in Melbourne town?
Oh, I might have. Which
as an owner, did you own a dog that went?
I did. That's very well spotted.
Late in the piece at Ballarat last night, was it?
Yeah, Ballarat race 14, the absolute last race of the day, and it was one of those funny things where I went through the form through the morning, and there was about 11 or 12 dogs throughout the day of racing that I liked, all at sort of double figures, and she was one of them, and I went, I don't really feel like having to have a bet on her because I'll be stressed enough just watching her go around as is. But anyway, I sucked it up and had the bet on, and she was the only winner I had for the day. It panned out quite nicely, and punters, if you've not seen the race, I'd definitely suggest going back and watching the 14th or Ballarat Extra 2 last night because she came off the canvas wide late. It was quite a fun race to watch, actually.
Oh, indeed. And isn't it incredible? Sometimes it's not how you begin, it's how you finish. And the main thing is you came home with the wet sail and got plenty to work with for tonight's program there at Sandown. Ethan, great catching up with you this morning, mate. We really appreciate you taking the time. And while Brownie's away these next few weeks, I really look forward to having a chat to you and talking all things Victorian Greyhound racing. All the best to yourself and all the club there tonight. I know it's a huge evening, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of our listeners that'll be having a punt and cheering hard for the West Aussies. Have a great night there tonight.
Thank you, Shorty. Chat again soon.
There we have it. Ethan Christian, fine young man, and great to have him on the show for the next few weeks while Neil Brown is having a bit of a break. We might throw back to Matty and see if we can clear the dividends from race 1 of the day there at Hawkesbury.
With correct weight, Hidden Motive 140.104, Wriggle Problem 11.60, Pimlico 240, 62.20 Quadella, 71.10 Exacta, 415.60 Trifecta, 211, 6.3 first 4, 5,065.10, sub 2 with 10 and then 12 through 14 scratched and paying on race number 1. First at Cairns, only 5 minutes away. NTD, the first leg of the quaddie, $1.90 for Gold Classic on the tote, Saddlecloth 1 and $1.85 with Tab Touch.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
And it's time to cross the border, head across to South Australia, catch up with Sean Matheson to talk all things SA chasing. G'day, Sean.
Yeah, hi, David. Yeah, great to be on the show with you again this Thursday. Really looking forward to tonight's Angle Park program that features the heats of the Group 3 Howard Ashton, which are the first 3 races on the program. But like the last few weeks, there's going to be plenty of interest here at Angle Park as they watch Sky Racing, particularly in Victoria, where a lot of the SA bred dogs are going around, particularly in the Sapphire Crown with both Dashing Slay and also Born Model, and then also in the Sandown Cup heats with Pillar and Zinfandel Traces made their way across there. So we're really going to be looking forward to tonight's racing locally and also interstate.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar scenario across here in the West. Gee, isn't Dashing Slay airborne at the minute?
She is. She took care of Lakeview Emily pretty easily last week. And we know what a wonderful record Lakeview Emily has, and her record's outstanding. But she did take care of her pretty easily, and exciting times for her. Where everyone knows how young she is and the things she's been able to do, but she's hitting a purple patch of form at the absolute right time, because in the next 6 months of racing, there is so much at her doorstep if she just continues on this progression. But, yeah, really exciting. For Gavin Harris, the connections, obviously, Kayla Cottrell has done a wonderful job with her in Victoria. And, just, again, it's terrific to see the local dogs doing so well on the national stage. Gavin's been a wonderful supporter of breeding the local breed, and also getting those dogs to get up into the longer journey as well. And he's always happy to travel with his dogs. So it's great to see her in Victoria doing so well.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get your thoughts for tonight there at Angle Park. Who should we be teaming up with?
So tonight, the first of the best bets comes up in race 2, and it's the second heat of the Howard Ashton. And it's a bit of an each-way basis, even though there's only 2 dividends, David. So I like number 7, Adhana Maddie, at the double-figure odds. She's around that $12 mark. She did win her maiden 3 runs ago, went 30.63, which is very good going for a maiden. She ran home really powerfully in that race. Her next 2 runs in Grade 6 company, no luck at all. She tends to find luck as they enter into the back straight, and so I'm hoping tonight, with being only a 6-dog field, there's plenty of speed off the inside, should break the field up a little bit. She'll rail, she'll be slow out, she'll rail early, but it's the moment as they enter the back straight. If she can keep her momentum up, I reckon she's a huge chance to run home. Definitely top 2. She could, she needs a bit of luck to win, but she's $12. I think she's a great each-way play, but it's just into the back straight. We just want to keep her momentum nice and strong.
All right, so look for Adhana Maddie to zoom into it mid-race there down the back, the black rug, if that's to be the case. There's some nice offerings available at $12 and $3.60 to run top 2. The second of your plays tonight at Angle Park?
The second is in race 5, and it's number 5, Bonavista, for Kevin Bewley. Again, quite at about $9. Probably didn't expect him to be that long. The 1 dog is an odds-on favourite, but I think the 1 dog will get crossed early, and then I think Bonavista will then cross again. So the 1 could find themselves in a bit of trouble. Bonavista was a good run at his first look at 5:30 last week. Came from a wide draw, came out okay, but then showed really good acceleration to take the lead out of the front straight. I think he can do the same here tonight. Not a lot of speed to his around him. He should be able to come out with them and show that acceleration. Should be stronger for the run. Did run 3rd last week. And if you can go around that 31-second mark, I reckon he might be hard to catch at $9.
Very nice indeed. $9.50 and $2.20 on the fixed odds with Tab Touch as we speak. That is Bonavista, race 5, number 5. And the third of your better bets tonight at Angle Park.
The third of them comes up in race 8, which is a King's Grade 5 final for the male greyhounds. I like number 3, Mr. Oberon, for Tim Richards. This dog's flying at the moment, quite around that $2.30 mark. Drawn nice and tight to the inside. His main challenger is drawn to his inside. He should be able to show enough speed to cross. And once he crosses, he goes really fast to the second split off the back straight. I think he'll just open him up and just be too hard to catch. Really progressive type, like the way he's going, so he'll be really hard to beat.
Very nice. That's race 8, number 3, Mr. Oberon, currently at $2.40. Some 20 seconds to get your bets on here for Cairns. Race 1 punters. It's for the 2-year-olds. Secret Cipher, our current odds-on favourite in the fixed odds, $2.70 to $1.85. Gold Classic's been $1.80 to $2. Mr. Doobie, 4 out to 9. Louis Auguste has been 23 to 51, and Mr. Sheffield, 51 to 91. So all the money here. Secret Cipher, $2.70 into $1.85 in the opener at Cairns, Matty.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
We're at 17 minutes away from 11 o'clock. We're chatting with Sean Matheson, having a look at South Australian Greyhound Racing. Tonight they're at Angle Park. Sean keen on race 2, number 7, Adhana Maddie, each way at the double-figure odds. Race 5, number 5, Bonavista, likewise just under the double-figure odds at $9.50. And race 8, number 3, Mr. Oberon. Moving on to Murray Bridge Friday and Gawler on Sunday there, Sean?
Yeah, so just, again, 1 each for the listeners at the meeting. So at Murray Bridge tomorrow, I like race 3, number 8, Victor Chrissy, for Beck Wynett. Has had 2 runs back from a short break. Did win a heat of the Straight Track Cup there at Murray Bridge 2 starts ago. They ran 5th in the final. She's a greyhound who loves a wide draw, and the further they go, the better she gets. She's not the fastest out, and this is probably one of the best races on the program, but I just feel like they're all going to get to that sort of first turn all together to her inside. She's going to sit out wide, going to love the big one turn at Murray Bridge, and I think she can run over the top of them and hopefully get a bit of a nice price about her tomorrow. And then at Gawler on Sunday night, I like race 4, number 8, Beau Cruz for Ben Rawlings. Again, a dog that came through the Murray Bridge straight track, went around in the heats and then was in the consolation last start without much luck. Has run very, very fast at Gawler over the 400 metres, and box 8 shouldn't be a problem for him on Sunday.
Alrighty, so we've got a pair of 8s there. Murray Bridge Friday, race 3, number 8, Victor Christian. The former West Aussie, race 4, number 8, Beau Cruz. Always had a big motor, and hopefully can use that from box number 8 there at Gawler on Sunday. Excellent work from you, Sean. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. To yourself and all of the team across there in SA. Enjoy Angle Park chasing this evening.
Terrific, David. Thanks for that. We'll talk next week.
There we have it. Sean Matheson with the latest across there in Adelaide ahead of a big night of chasing there at Angle Park. Matty, we might be able to clear up the divvies for Cairns race number 1 before we round out the program with a chat to Simon Orchard.
Secret Cipher, the winner, $2.80, $1.30. Louis Augustus pays, or Augusta, $14.70, and no third for Gold Classic. $21.40 Quadella, $41.60 Exacta, $79.70 Trifecta, $25.13 first 4, $93.50 the sub 1. And the scratching 6 with weight to come. Hawkesbury, race number 2, $1.60 here. Queen's Rhapsody, number 1 in the next leg of the quaddie, into $1.55 from $2.10 with Tab Touch.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
And the man that's going to provide a little bit of that good oil for New South Wales greyhound racing over the next 72 hours is our man Simon Orchard. Of course, you can find all of his handiwork on thedogs.com.au. Welcome to the program, Simon. How's your Thursday going?
Yeah, afternoon, Shorty, mate. I had a great chat this morning with the great man David Brash about our upcoming puppy auction. So next Sunday, May 25. Last year, I think we did over $1.2 million worth of sales, and Brashy could have talked for about 18 weeks about every dog in this catalogue, mate. But it was so interesting. We're going to chop it up and throw it up on the dogs platforms over the next week as we head towards the puppy auction. But, mate, if there's someone who knows more about greyhound racing and greyhound breeding in particular, I'd love to know them, because he had lots of great stats, lots of great insights. He even had a couple of sneaky tips for people who are looking to get into the caper, and he also nailed down one litter in particular, mate, that he thinks people should get around. So Tommy Shelby, Yuko Girl, a dog that obviously you guys all know over there in the West. There's 5 pups out of Yuko Girl, who was I think 10 group finals she made. She was a Group 2 winner. She had great early pace, and she's got 5 pups in the auction next Sunday. And the great man Dave Brash has nailed them as the ones to maybe try and take home.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I've had the great privilege of interviewing Dave a few times, and you've just nailed it. You could literally speak to him for hours and hours, and his knowledge base of the different crosses that match and suit each other, from a dam line to a new sire, and he goes back many, many generations into where the clicks are and how it should all match up. It's just elite. He's a very, very knowledgeable guy and has great passion for the breeding game.
Yeah, he does, mate. He put together our catalogue, so 187 pages of it, thedogs.com.au. You can find it pretty easily, and you can start planning your attack on who you maybe want to get into the industry with if you're a first-timer, or if you're a tried and tested greyhound enthusiast. And you've probably already taken a look and worked out who you want. But, mate, the list is pretty impressive. We've got some good odds cash pups going around. Good odds cash, obviously a Group 1 winner. There's a bitch out of her, I know for sure, and certain's in the field as well, and you don't often see these good bitches going around, so she'll fetch a good price. There's obviously a host of Tommy Shelby. I think 1, 2, 3, what have we got here? 10 different litters represented by Tommy Shelby, so he's one of the most popular sides. There's Bernardo's coming out of every corner, so there's plenty on offer, mate, and something for everyone. Next Sunday, May 25, auction kicks off at 9:30, so if you're in the Richmond area in Sydney, come on down. You can bid over the phone as well, so if you're wondering, well, I'm in Perth, how do I get involved? Contact Brad Adam, his number's on the website, and you can get involved over the phone if you want to have a play as well.
Indeed. I'm sure there's a few of our listeners that will take you up on that, and you get on the get on the site now, find the puppy or two that they would like to be involved with, and do a little bit of bidding, and you can sort out to get the dogs looked after, and hopefully provide you with your next champion in the sport of greyhound racing. Now, we do need to make a few bucks, though, to pay for some of these puppies, Simon, so we'll now lean on you for a little bit of guidance with some winners around the state of New South Wales over the next few days, mate.
Yeah, for sure, mate. 3 today, Richmond Straight. Later on this afternoon, race 11, number 8, Iron Lady. She's had 2 months, or almost 2 months off the scene, but she loves racing up the straight at Richmond. 11 starts, 6 wins, 3 minors, and the key is the wide draw. I like that a lot for her, and I think she can make a winning return. 11-8 Iron Lady up the straight. Dapto tonight, there's a dog by the name of Shiny Trunky, race 3, number 7. He's on debut for Kenny Burnett, but the 7 littermates who have already raced, they've all broken their maiden, and there's absolutely no depth to this race at all. I think 17.38 was the PB among the other starters. So Shiny Trunky just needs to have, I reckon, moderate ability and a clean run, and I think he can win. 3-7 at Dapto. Wenty Park tonight, race 10, number 3. You're going to have to wait a while, but Tall Major, a litter brother to Tor Galaxy, who won the recent Magic Maiden final for Andrew Rowe. Those great scenes of him getting carried down the stand to celebrate on track. Well, this other littermate got serious ability, 29.69 last start, and that was only start number 4 at Wenty Park. Well boxed. It's a restricted win race. I think he's well placed. 10-3. Tall Major at Wenty Park. And then Saturday, mate, we scoot forward the Brother Fox final. I can't go past Sooty Keeping. She's jumping a lot more consistently. I'll probably put the mock on her now, but she's an absolute machine when she gets out and goes. She's a home track specialist. She's already won a couple of group races this year. So race 8, number 8, Sooty Keeping's my tip for the Big Brother Fox. And there's a race just before it, race 7, number 4, Zipping Avania. Look, she's an emerging type who's stepping up over the distance again. I think for Jason Magri, she's the dog to beat. There's some good, hard, toothed old chasers in the field. Kangaroo Jack's in there, Miss Zigzag as well. But I think Zipping Avania is the one to beat. It's got the most upside. So race 7, number 4, and race 8, number 8, the 2 best bets at Dubbo. For that big, big night, the Bill and Peg Miller will go off as well. But, of course, the Brother Fox, it's probably the most iconic race out there in the Central West.
Indeed, and Sooty Keeping the tip for our man Simon Orchard there. Richmond Straight 11-8, Dapto tonight 3-7, Wentworth Park 10-3, then to Dubbo, race 8, number 8, Sooty Keeping, race 7, number 4, Zipping Avania. Beautifully done, Simon. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Good luck to yourself and all of the team there with that puppy auction on Sunday. Head to thedogs.com.au, download all of the puppy guide that's been put together by David Brash, and you can find your next champion in the sport, and you can bid over the phone, as we heard there from Simon. So get involved, have a look at the catalogue. If there's a few puppies that you like, throw your hat in the ring. You just never know what you might end up with. Appreciate your time, Simon. Have a ripper weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Will do, Shorty. May 25 puppy auction. The best part, mate, that I didn't mention, all dogs who go off in the auction are eligible for the GRNSW auction race series. We've got the first one of those coming up this year, 150 grand for the winner.
Beautiful. So, and that will be restricted to only dogs purchased at that particular auction. So that does enhance your prospects of winning the race. Beautifully done, Simon. Have a ripper weekend.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
There we have it, Simon Orchard with us this morning here on Great Greys, and that rounds out the program for today. We will upload these tips to the blog and also across the social media a little bit later on there this afternoon before things get underway at Sandown. But that's been another busy program. Always appreciate your company and the fine work of our man Matty McDermott there at TAB Radio headquarters, as always doing a magnificent job. Have a wonderful Thursday, punters. Wishing you all many winners. Be back tomorrow morning. I'll join Digby and Tim from around about 6:40am tomorrow morning with a Friday Funny and all the latest news from Tab Touch, and then we're into chasing winners between 9 and 10 right here on TAB Radio with Jesse Earnshaw and Peter O'Neill. Until then, many winners. All the best, Matty.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.